get on the break. This gets this team going. He's not even looking at the. I think he was looking at Michael Jordan.
I was thinking the same thing.
Michael Jordan's a little left of that. I think that was a look at Michael like, turn out the lights, my friend.
The first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years of everything the sports are going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time. Everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. Like, it was the greatest team to ever assemble.
People always debated, who's the greatest player of all time? Dumb question. It should be, who's the greatest team of all time? You know, there are so many teams to choose from. The 91 Chicago Bulls, sorry Showtime. The 92 Bulls, back-to-back. 93 Bulls, first three-peat. 97 Bulls, even with the flu. 98 Bulls, no push-off. And my favorite, the 96 Chicago Bulls. 72 wins, tough to beat that. What? You think there's someone else? Prove it.
Michael Jordan has finally broken his silence, and his comments about LeBron James are sparking serious controversy. For more than 20 years, fans have watched the player widely regarded as the greatest of all time maintain a noticeable distance from LeBron. There was no mentorship, no friendship, just a consistent, deliberate separation. Now, the truth has emerged, and it is far harsher than anyone could have anticipated.
We come to practice, he's on one leg. Like, he was hurt the second year, he was on one leg the whole year and played 82 games. Wow. Like, and so he practiced every day and he played every game on one leg. And so you're like, man, MJ, why don't you just sit up? How can I be the leader of the team and sit out and y'all going through all the credit? I gotta be there.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
But you have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all times.
It might not be in the team's best interest, in your best interest, to play all 82. Is that something you thought about at all since you made the goal?
I mean, that's a goal, but we'll see.
The next day,
I'm available to go and be in the pro. If OBJ shows up, he might score 100.
You know, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy way up on top who probably worked his ass off to get a ticket or to get money to buy the ticket.
You really cared about the guy who sat in the top deck at the Palace in Auburn Hills to watch you when you came to Detroit?
Yeah, because I know he's probably yelling at me and I want to shut him up.
Let's go back to where it all began. It's 2002, and Michael Jordan is still playing, pushing through his final season with the Washington Wizards. Meanwhile, in Ohio, a high school junior named LeBron James graces the cover of Sports Illustrated, not just any feature, but the cover itself, with bold letters calling him the chosen one. Before LeBron had even played a single NBA game, the media had already anointed him as the next Michael Jordan. That moment changed everything. Here's what most people don't realize about MJ. He never forgets. He keeps a mental list of every person who doubted him, disrespected him, or tried to take his place. Consider Leroy Smith, the kid who made the varsity team when Jordan got cut in high school. Jordan still mentioned him decades later in his Hall of Fame speech, just to show he never let it go. That's the level of competitive pettiness we're talking.
I beat Michael Jordan out in 10th grade for the varsity. I made it and he got cut. Yes, I'm the coach who cut Michael as a sophomore.
And I told him to go into math, but that's where the money was.
And then there's Leroy Smith. Now you gotta think that's a myth. Leroy Smith was a guy, when I got cut, he made the team on the varsity team. And he's here tonight. He's still the same 6'7" guy. He's not any bigger. His game is about the same. But he started the whole process with me because when he made the team and I didn't, I wanted to prove not just to Leroy Smith, not just to myself, but to the coach who actually picked Leroy over me. I wanted to make sure you understood you made a mistake, dude.
Talking about. Now, imagine what must have gone through Jordan's mind when he saw that magazine cover. A teenager being called the next him before proving anything. To the world, it looked like respect. To Jordan, it felt like an attack. Jordan wasn't handed greatness. He earned every inch of it. He was cut from his varsity team, drafted third behind players most people barely remember, and spent years being physically punished by the Pistons before finally becoming a champion. Every title, every trophy, every moment of glory was earned through work, pain, and a relentless will to destroy anyone in his way. But LeBron was treated differently. Nike handed him $90 million before he played a single NBA game. His high school games were broadcast on ESPN, and arenas sold out just to watch him play as a teenager. The world placed a crown on his head before he ever stepped on an NBA court. To Jordan, that wasn't disrespect toward LeBron, it was disrespect to everything Jordan had built. In his mind, greatness had to be earned the hard way, and respect could only be given to those who followed that path. What makes this even more dramatic is that LeBron idolized Jordan. He hung MJ posters in his room, studied his game, and wore his shoes. LeBron wanted nothing more than to be like Mike. So, when LeBron entered the league and became dominant, most people assumed Jordan would welcome him, pass the torch, and build a relationship. But that never happened. Even in 2025, when LeBron spoke on the Pat McAfee show, he said he and Jordan are in a good spot. Not close. Not mentor and student. Just civil. In other words, they barely have a relationship at all. This is striking considering LeBron is one of the most respected players ever. Legends like Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Larry Bird all welcomed the next generation. They shared wisdom and celebrated the passing of the torch. But not Jordan. With LeBron, he kept his distance. Cold handshakes, polite comments, but never anything real. Yet there was one younger star Jordan did embrace. Kobe Bryant. Once you understand why, everything becomes clear. Kobe didn't just admire Jordan, he modeled himself after him. The same fadeaway, the same footwork, the same tone of voice, the same swagger. Kobe studied Jordan's game frame by frame and even called him in the middle of the night to ask about moves, strategy, and mindset. Kobe didn't want to be the next Jordan, he wanted to be Jordan. And Jordan respected that. More importantly, Kobe shared Jordan's mentality. He had that same killer instinct, the same coldness. He didn't care about being liked by teammates or praised by the media. He cared only about winning, even if it meant taking 40 shots or freezing out Shaq. That ruthless hunger.
Is Michael Jordan a friend of yours?
He's a good mentor of mine. He's like a big brother.
He is, okay.
Yeah.
So how regularly will you speak to Michael?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like in a year's time?
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. And Will Smith was here a few weeks ago. He was talking about Michael and how he just constantly wants to compete when it comes to everything.
All the time.
Literally everything. Does he do that with you?
Yeah.
He does.
He tries, yeah.
He tries. And what things does he try to compete with you?
I don't know. I mean, the last time we had dinner, he was talking about my year in 1991 versus your peak year. I would have kicked your ass. So I said, Mike, come on now.
That relentless drive was what Jordan recognized as the true passing of the torch. That's the Jordan mentality, ruthless, unforgiving, and completely uncompromising. LeBron, on the other hand, has always approached the game differently. He's a pass-first player, a team builder, someone who looks for the open man rather than forcing every shot. To fans, that's smart, unselfish basketball. But to Michael Jordan, it looks soft. In MJ's world, the alpha takes the last shot every time. No hesitation, no passing. You live or die with the ball in your hands. So when LeBron chose to leave Cleveland for Miami and team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, Jordan saw that as weakness. In his mind, killers don't ask for help, they take on the world alone. That's why, when Kobe Bryant passed away in 2020, Jordan stood there crying, calling Kobe his little brother. The pain on his face wasn't for cameras or the public, it was—
Maybe it surprised people that Kobe and I were very close friends. But we're very close friends. Kobe was my dear friend. He was like a little brother. I promise you, from this day forward, I will live with the memories of knowing that I had a little brother, that I tried to help in every way I could. Please, rest in peace, little brother.
It was real emotion, built on years of a genuine bond. Jordan loved Kobe like family. But with LeBron, there was nothing. No late-night calls, no mentorship, no real connection. Just distance. Things only became more complicated when rumors involving Diddy began circulating. Suddenly, people weren't just debating LeBron's basketball legacy, they were questioning his image and his inner circle. There's that old clip of LeBron on Instagram Live joking with Diddy, saying, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party." At the time, it seemed harmless, two successful figures sharing a laugh. But after the legal controversies and accusations surrounding Diddy in 2024 and 2025, that moment aged poorly. Even though LeBron himself was never accused of anything, public perception shifted. Fans started scrutinizing his decisions differently, and the conversation moved beyond the court. For Michael Jordan, a man who built his global empire on control, discipline, and a spotless image, even being indirectly associated with controversy is unacceptable. Throughout his career, Jordan avoided public drama. He didn't speak on political issues, stayed out of off-court chaos, and maintained a brand that remained untouchable. That is how he turned Air Jordan into a billion-dollar legacy that still dominates the sneaker world decades after he retired. LeBron, however, operates in a different era with a different mindset. He speaks openly on social issues, forms friendships across rival teams, and isn't afraid to show vulnerability. To many today, that's leadership. But to Jordan, it's unfamiliar, and maybe even threatening, because LeBron represents a new model of superstardom, one that doesn't follow the blueprint Jordan created. For someone as protective of his legacy as MJ, that shift feels like losing control of the narrative. This tension has always existed in the NBA. The league thrives on rivalries. Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird wasn't just a basketball matchup, it was a cultural confrontation, East Coast grit versus West Coast glamour. They elevated the league together, but they didn't become friends until their battles were over. Jordan versus Isaiah Thomas was even worse. The Pistons created the Jordan rules solely to punish him physically, and the hatred still lingers today. Even teammates feud.